The wind whispers through the open fields of Heartland, carrying more than the scent of pine and dust. It carries secrets. Some are small, harmless things that fade with time. But others, they have weight. They echo in every word left unspoken, in every look that lingers too long. This time, one secret could change everything. Because in Heartland, the truth never stays hidden for long, and when it does, it hurts the ones closest to your heart. Visuals. Slow motion. Clips of the ranch at sunrise. Amy brushing her horse. Jack looking over the fields. Lou standing by the barn lost in thought. Faint sound of hooves on gravel. A soft guitar note builds under day, begins like any other at Heartland Ranch. The sun rises gently over the hills, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. Horses graze quietly, their breath misting in the cool morning air. Everything looks peaceful, too peaceful. But behind that calm, something is brewing. Amy walks into the barn, her boots crunching softly on the straw. She runs her hand over Spartan's mane, whispering softly, almost like she's trying to quiet her own thoughts. There's something different about her today. Her eyes carry a storm she hasn't spoken about, a secret that sits heavy on her heart. Jack, sitting by the fence with a mug of coffee, watches her. He's seen that look before, the one that says something isn't right. He doesn't ask, not yet. He knows in Heartland, people talk when they're ready. But he also knows that sometimes waiting too long can make things worse. Meanwhile, Lou is in the house, flipping through her planner, trying to keep the day in order. Meetings, calls, family plans, everything neatly listed. But even as she ticks off her schedule, her mind isn't fully there. She keeps glancing at her phone, hesitating before opening a message she's been avoiding. Something in her eyes says she's holding on to a truth she doesn't want to face. The ranch hums with quiet. Life dogs barking in the distance. The sound of hooves against the dirt, birds scattering from the treetops. But the peace feels fragile, as if one wrong move could shatter it. Tim pulls up in his truck, stepping out with his usual grin. But even he senses it, the strange stillness, the unspoken tension that hangs in the air. He asks Jack if everything's all right, but Jack just shakes his head. "Mornin's too quiet," he says. That's never a good sign around here. Visuals show sweeping shots of the Heartland Ranch horses running across open fields. Amy walking slowly into the barn, Lou staring out the window. Jack tightening his hat as wind picks up. The camera lingers on their faces, quiet worry, silent thoughts, as the wind picks up and clouds begin to form. You can feel it. The story is about to turn. The calm is ending. Whatever secret is hiding at Heartland is about to come out. Music fades from soft acoustic to a subtle, suspenseful tone. The screen cuts to black for a beat before the next section begins. Neat. Secrets have a strange way of changing the air around you. You can't see them, but you can feel them in the pauses between words. In the way someone avoids your eyes, in the silence that suddenly feels too heavy. At Heartland, silence speaks louder than thunder. Amy walks through the paddock, her steps slow, her gaze distant. She's thinking about that conversation from the night before, words that were never meant to be overheard. Kate, a truth she wishes she didn't know. Her heart feels heavier than the saddle she carries. Every sound, the neigh of a horse, the rustle of hay, feels sharper now, like the world knows her secret too. Inside the house, Lou sits by the kitchen table, fingers tracing the rim of her coffee cup. Her phone lights up again with that same message she's been ignoring. A message that could undo everything she's worked to keep together. She takes a deep breath, opens it, and her expression hardens. The secret she's keeping isn't just her own anymore. It's one that could pull the whole family into the storm. Jack enters quietly, leaning against the doorway. His eyes carry that steady, weathered calm, but even he feels the shift. "You all right?" he asks, voice low, knowing the answer won't come easy. Lou forces a smile, the kind that fools no one. Jack nods slowly, his silence saying more than any words could. Out by the corral, Tim is brushing down his horse, whistling a tune. But when he sees Amy approaching, he stops. There's something in her walk. Hesitation, guilt, fear. She opens her mouth as if to speak, but then stops. "Nothing," she mutters, turning away. Tim watches her go, confused but concerned. He's seen that kind of fear before, the kind that doesn't come from danger, but from knowing something you wish you didn't. Visuals. The wind picks up. Loose hay dances through the air. The camera follows Amy's reflection in a horse's dark eyes, a subtle symbol of secrets mirrored back at you. Cut to Luz standing at the window, the phone still in her hand, her reflection split by the glass. Then, a close-up of Jack's hat resting on the fence, unmoving, steady, a sign of strength amid chaos. Voiceover softens. Some secrets can be buried deep, but not here. Not at Heartland. The land remembers. The walls listen. And the truth always finds its way out. The screen fades slowly to black as the wind howls across the open fields. A faint thunder rumbles in the distance, like a warning. It starts small, the way every storm does. Not with a crash of thunder, but with a change in the wind. At Heartland, that wind has begun to shift. Horses sense it first. They move restlessly in their stalls, hooves striking the wood, as if echoing the unease running through the people who care for them. The air feels heavier, thicker, like the sky itself is holding its breath. Amy walks into the yard, trying to focus on her work. She adjusts the reins, checks the feed, does all the things she's done 1,000 times. But her movements are slower, distracted. Every task feels like a way to escape the thought she can't stop replaying if she tells the truth. Someone she loves will get hurt. Lou's stress shows differently. Her calm, collected routine is starting to crack. She snaps at Rick on a quick phone call, then apologizes right after, her voice trembling. She's always been the one who keeps things running, the glue that holds everyone together. But now, even she feels like she's slipping, because secrets don't just stay inside you. They leak out, in tone, in timing, in the small ways you forget to smile. Jack watches all this unfold from the porch. He's been around long enough to recognize the signs, the glances, the quiet, the tension that rolls through the house like distant thunder. He doesn't know what's wrong, not exactly, but he knows something is. "You can't build peace on things left unsaid," he mutters under his breath. The words lost to the wind. Tim shows up later, full of energy, ready to help with the horses. But when he sees Amy's forced smile and Lou's distant stare, even he stops joking. He doesn't say it, but he feels it. Something's off. He looks around the ranch, at the wide open sky, the familiar fences, the faces he's known his whole life. And yet, it all feels different today. Visuals show the ranch under gray light. Horses pawing at the ground. Lou pacing near the porch. Amy sitting alone by the water trough, lost in thought. The wind moves through the grass, bending it one way, then another, just like emotions bending the people who live here. Voiceover deepens. One secret doesn't just sit quietly. It moves. It changes people. It turns smiles into questions, and moments of peace into moments of doubt. The walls of Heartland have seen joy, heartbreak, loss, but even they can feel when something isn't right. Cut to a quiet moment, Amy and Jack crossing paths by the barn. She tries to meet his eyes, but can't. Jack pauses, watching her walk away, his expression unreadable. The camera pulls back slowly, showing the ranch from above, wide, beautiful, but tense. Like it's holding something it can't bear to carry. Music fades into a soft, uneasy melody, the calm before confrontation. Truth doesn't knock before it enters. It breaks the door open. At Heartland. That moment comes when the sun dips low and shadows stretch long across the yard. The day looks peaceful, but the silence feels heavier than it ever has. You can almost hear hearts beating faster, waiting, dreading, knowing something's about to give. Amy stands by the fence, her hands gripping the worn wood, her eyes locked on the horizon. The sunset paints everything in gold, but she doesn't see the beauty, only the weight of what she's been holding in. The secret she's kept is starting to burn inside her. It's like a wildfire waiting for one spark. Lou walks toward her, slow but sure, the kind of walk that carries purpose, and fear. The two sisters stand facing each other, words caught somewhere between anger and love. Amy looks up first, her voice trembling. "How long were you going to keep this from me?" The question hangs in the air, sharp as glass. Lou doesn't answer right away. You can see the fight in her, wanting to explain, wanting to defend, wanting to hide. But the truth has waited long enough. "I didn't want to hurt you," she finally says. Eyes shining with tears she refuses to let fall. Visuals. The camera shifts between close-ups. Amy's clenched jaw. Lou's trembling hand. Jack watching from the porch. A horse whinnying in the distance. The ranch seems to hold its breath. Even the wind stills for a moment. Jack walks toward them slowly, his boots crunching on the gravel. He's been through decades of storms, seen pain in every shape it can take. He doesn't need to know every detail. He just knows this family's about to break. If someone doesn't pull them back together, secrets don't keep people safe, he says quietly. They only build walls. And this family. We've already... Amy looks at him, eyes glassy, her lips parting as if to answer, but the words never come. Lou wipes her face, nodding slightly. The truth finally out, raw, imperfect, but real. The secret has been spoken, and the silence that follows isn't empty anymore. It's heavy, but honest voice, over-deepened softly. There's a kind of freedom in truth, even when it hurts. Sometimes the hardest thing to face isn't what you've done. It's the person you become while hiding it. The camera pans out slowly, the golden sky fading into blue, the sisters standing apart but somehow closer than before. Jack turns back toward the barn, his silhouette framed by the last light of day. The music swells gently, not triumphant, not sad, but true. Fade to black. A faint whisper echoes. At Heartland, secrets may tear you apart, but truth has a way of bringing you home. When the truth finally escapes, it doesn't scream, it echoes. It moves through Heartland like a cold wind, slipping under doors, curling through empty hallways, and stirring the dust that had long settled. The ranch, once alive with laughter and chatter, feels quieter now. Not empty, just heavy. Amy spends the morning in the stables, brushing Spartan's mane in slow, thoughtful strokes. Her eyes are distant, her mind replaying last night's words. Every pause, every breath, every look that cut deeper than she expected. The truth has set her free, yes, but freedom doesn't always feel light. Sometimes it feels lonely. Lou, on the other hand, can't find peace anywhere. She's in her office, papers scattered across the desk, her coffee cold. The sunlight hits her face, and for the first time in a long while, she doesn't hide from it. She's tired of hiding. The choice she made, the lie she kept, came from love, but love doesn't always make it right. Jack walks through the barn, checking on things that don't really need checking. He's quiet, but his silence isn't cold. It's the kind that holds understanding, the kind that gives space for healing. Every family fight, every painful truth, every moment of regret. He's seen it all before. He knows it always takes time for the heart to find its way back home. Tim tries to lighten the air with a joke, but it falls flat. Even he can feel the distance. He leans against the truck, eyes following Amy as she walks past, without a word. He sighs, not out of frustration, but out of helplessness. There are no quick fixes here. Visuals. The camera follows Amy as she rides Spartan through the open field. The sky is cloudy, the colors muted. Her hair moves in the wind as if trying to shake off the weight of yesterday. Cut to Lou standing on the porch, watching from a distance, wanting to call out, but knowing it's too soon. Jack feeds the horses slowly, the golden light of afternoon falling across his face. His movements are steady, sure the calm at the center of the storm. Voiceover softens when the truth comes out. It doesn't fix everything right away. It breaks things first, the trust, the rhythm, the quiet peace of routine. But from that break, something new begins. Something real. The wind carries the faint sound of laughter from the past, maybe or from hope. It's hard to tell. The camera pulls back to show the ranch again, wide, still, but alive. You can almost feel it healing, piece by piece, because in Heartland, no storm lasts forever. The clouds always part. The land always remembers the light. no matter how deep the hurt runs, family finds its way even through the cracks truth leaves behind. Music fades into a gentle, hopeful tune. A single shot of Amy looking toward the horizon closes the scene. Some wounds don't need words to heal, they just need time, sunlight, and a little kindness. Morning breaks softer this time. The golden light spills gently across Heartland's open fields, painting everything in calm hues. The sky seems wider, the air lighter, as if the land itself is breathing again. The storm has passed, but its memory lingers in the stillness, quiet, tender, and real. Amy walks by the corral, her hands brushing against the wooden rails, each groove familiar beneath her fingers. Spartan trots nearby, playful again, sensing her mood shift. There's a peace in her now, not because everything's fixed, but because she's finally stopped running from the truth. She closes her eyes for a moment, letting the wind touch her face. It feels like forgiveness. Inside the house, Lou brews a fresh pot of coffee. The sound of it fills the silence, warm and grounding. She looks out the window. Amy is there, the same sister she's loved all her life. The space between them still exists, but it's softer now, less sharp. Lou takes a deep breath, wipes her hands on a towel, steps outside. They meet halfway between the house and the barn, not by plan, but by fate. No dramatic words, no raised voices, just a quiet understanding. Amy gives a small nod. Lou smiles faintly. That's all it takes. Sometimes forgiveness isn't spoken, it's felt. Jack watches from the porch, a knowing smile hidden behind his coffee mug. He's seen this before, how love bends, breaks, then rebuilds stronger than before. Turns toward the fields and mutters to himself, this family. It never stays down for long. Visuals, slow, sweeping shots of the ranch at sunrise, horses galloping through morning mist. Lou and Amy standing side by the fence, sunlight cutting between them. Jack sitting quietly, his hat low, eyes soft. The camera lingers on their faces, showing peace returning little by little. Voiceover warms. Healing doesn't arrive all at once. Comes in moments. A shared glance. A quiet smile. A day that feels lighter than the one before. It's in the laughter that slowly returns, in the silence that no longer hurts, and in the love that never truly leaves. As the music swells gently, the scene fades to the wide-open fields of Heartland. The horses run free again, their manes catching the light. The wind hums softly, no longer cold, but full of life. Because here, on this land, pain and peace always walk together. And no matter how deep the scars, love finds its way back, like the tide returning home. Fade out on Amy and Lou walking back toward the house together, side by side. The screen dims as a single line appears. Every secret ends, but family never does. Evening settles over Heartland like a gentle promise. The golden sky fades into deep orange, then soft purple, as if the day itself is taking a slow, peaceful breath. The storm is past. The land feels different now, lighter, calmer, whole again. Amy sits on the fence watching Spartan graze under the dimming light. Her hands are still, her eyes soft. There's no rush in her anymore, just quiet acceptance. She's learned that truth may hurt for a moment, but hiding it hurts forever. What's broken can heal, and what's lost can find its way back. As long as love stays true, inside the house, laughter drifts through the open windows, gentle, real, and full of life again. Lou's in the kitchen, teasing Tim about his cooking. Jack adds a quiet joke that makes them all laugh harder. The kind of laughter that feels like home. It's a kind that only returns when hearts finally forgive. The camera moves through the familiar spaces, the barn doors swinging slightly in the breeze, the kitchen table glowing under warm light, the old photographs on the wall catching the sunset's last touch. Everything feels alive again, touched by peace. Amy walks back toward the house, her boots crunching softly on the dirt path. As she steps onto the porch, she pauses. The light from inside spills across her face. For a second, she looks back at the fields, the wide-open space that has carried her through every joy, every heartbreak, every secret. She smiles, small but certain. Voice over deepens, calm and heartfelt. Sometimes, home isn't just a place. It's the people who wait for you, even when you've lost your way. It's the silence that no longer hurts. It's the truth that finally rests easy in your heart. Jack's voice echoes softly in memory. No matter how far you wander, this land will always know your name. The music swells, a gentle blend of piano and acoustic strings. The final shots show the ranch bathed in twilight, the horses settling down, the lights flickering in the windows, the wind whispering through the trees. Then, one last image, the Heartland sign standing strong at the gate. Its edges, weathered but proud. Voiceover fades to a whisper, because at Heartland, no secret can last forever. Only love can. Fade to black. The words appear on screen. Simple and final. Heartland Season 19, Episode 2, Two Can Keep a Secret. Only on CBC.